And welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. This is Susan Johnson, and my co host is out doing great things this evening. But I'm back. I'm back from the legislative session that went very well, and I'm really happy to be back after CNADA. And we are really going to have a wonderful show this evening talking about things that are going on here in this community. And this, let me just say, is a great organization, and it has been called the Pride Coalition, but they're changing their name to the National Prevention Week, National Prevention Organization.
Well, hi, I'm Karen.
Okay.
I'm the prevention director for. We have been known for years as a Wyndham Pride Coalition. We're in transitioning the name to Wyndham Prevention Coalition.
Yep.
So and we are celebrating. We're about to celebrate National Prevention Week. So we have just a lot of things going on this week. Adding on to what we already do. So,
So
yeah,
glad
so
that.
thanks.
So thank you, Karen Ravenel Boone,
Thank
for,
you.
for talking about this. And I just have to say, she does amazing work. Since I've been involved here, either coming in and chatting about the work that we do here in town with the Pride Coalition, which is going to Wyndham Prevention, and that is really a great thing. And we will get into the details of what they do to help the students understand drug abuse and how to stop it, and just understand things about how the government works. I'm just so impressed with the work that our Willimantic Police Department has done with the students, how they've connected with the Wyndham High School students, how they've been working with the social work students at Eastern Connecticut State University. It's just a fabulous group of people doing fabulous work in our region. I'm very, very proud to represent this area because of that great work. But before we get into those details, we have the wonderful Jean Dismay here to talk about Third Thursday. And let me just ask you this question. When is Third Thursday?
We've decided that this year we're going to do it on a Thursday night. And I have to tell you, I was looking at my weather calendar today,
Yeah.
and for some reason it showed next week's dates, and I thought I missed it. It was last night. Not likely to happen. Anyway.
I didn't think you would miss it. Just saying.
Next week, it's the third Thursday of the month. Yes.
It's early, isn't it? It's a very
it is.
early
And-
Third Thursday, but it is.
and-
What date does that fall? This is it. The 16th?
18th? 16th? 16th. That's
Maybe
about as
the
early as I
16th.
could get.
I think so. Yes. Yeah, we had an early month because we had at the Capitol. Usually, it's the
You
first.
got off early.
No, I had to stay later because it usually is the first Wednesday in May for the short session, but this was the first
Oh, I
Wednesday
see. It
after
was-
the first Monday, which
Great.
made us stay till the 8th. Plus, it was leap year, so we had a couple extra days in there that we don't normally get.
No wonder you got the budget done on time.
That's because we didn't change it. That
Right.
would be.
That would
But
help.
I'm thrilled with that because it really made sure that our schools got the money they were supposed to get. And
Yeah.
we're getting another $2 million more this
That's
cycle.
fantastic.
So
That's
we get
so
that $2
fantastic.
million more. So
Yeah.
now we're up to the $10 million that we were missing from the time that Lowell Weicker got into office all the way up to now.
Well
But we
done.
added $1 million a year every year and a couple million this year. So we finally got ECS funding fully by 2026. I'm thrilled.
That is so
Yes.
amazing that you were able to do
Yes.
this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
That's
that.
So
Yes.
needed. So
Yeah.
needed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
A lot of
a
work.
big mountain to climb because
Yes.
people in other towns don't get it.
No,
They don't understand this is our share.
this is huge. It's
Yeah,
huge.
It's just
and
like pilot funding. They don't understand why they
No.
owe that to us because we're the ones.
it's tax
All the
free.
nonprofits are property's tax free. Hello.
Thank you.
Then they get one social service in their town and they're like, "This is terrible." Like, try half of your population or half of your tax base.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
So the tax base is a big deal, and that is something I can thank so many people for working on. And now we're going to say, what is it again, Jean Dismay?
It says next Thursday. Don't forget. So I just want to remind everyone, put your lawn signs out.
Yes.
And if you need a new one, we got them at the
That's a
street
nice one.
festival. Yep.
These are different.
They
Hold-
were.
hold
It's a
it up
little
again.
different. It's well, we
'Cause we get the
splurged on
video.
color,
You're beautiful.
I love it.
Whoa.
I love the froggy.
and they really do look better quality.
They-
It's Science Plus. They always do good work.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they really stand out. They're great.
Yeah, I think it's our best advertisement because people see them on the road and they go, oh, it's third, and then we have to tell them, please take it in. They don't really know when Third Thursdays are, and, and I get these panicked calls. Is it today? It's like next week, next week. So put your signs out. Pick one up at the Street Fest. Pick one up at the Hop Fest. Call info at willimanticstreetfest.com and you can have one on your yard.
Yes, I like that one. I want that one.
You can have it. I'll leave it here.
I could put in a little plug for it as well.
Yes, please do.
So,
yes.
I'll put. I've been going to Third Thursday forever. It feels like, and for those listeners who are, maybe out of the Windham area, I know that a lot of people come in from other other towns to visit. I've just met so many people, but it is just a fabulous evening out, and I've been talking to some of our youth in the community, and they're just saying like, oh my gosh, it's Third Thursday time already, and we're getting excited, and so we run a booth
generation.
there. Yes, and so another thing, we were just my colleague and I were just at the Magnet Art School this morning giving a presentation, and so they're going to be doing a performance, the Addams Family, a play.
Oh, is that we get? I never know what we're going to get.
Well, so what they said is for Third Thursday, they're going to go out and do like little snippets, little previews of their play. So come down and check out what they're going to be doing, and then go see their performance on the weekend.
They are always so much fun. They draw a crowd, and the other local band, the Windham Public School band, is going to be there this year, or this month, and I love having the local kids perform any way they can. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely,
it's great.
Fabulous.
It's
Yes,
awesome.
very
And
good.
thank you guys for coming to every fest with the Pride
Yes,
Kids.
we do, and we have, and so many. It's what's really nice. It's a way for us to connect with parents and youth in the community, and we'll also be recruiting for some of our summer programming, and so. And we have some new parent volunteers working with us, so it's just a great it's a great way for us to do our outreach in the community.
You provided us a rapper. I was looking for somebody. I said somebody in the schools must do rap or something, right? And they're like, yeah. All right. As a matter of fact, here he is.
Very great.
He would show up, and we get like 10 minutes between sets and different stages, and everybody's like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
We love to have different kinds of stuff.
Yeah. What about some of the bands and things? Do you have any idea of what we're going
Oh,
to
well, we have, this is kind of almost traditional now. Bruce John is starting.
All right,
the
Bruce.
first.
All right, we love Bruce John.
And
Absolutely.
Patty Hewitt is the second set, and that's the Midtown stage. Downtown, this is different. Shamara, the executive administrator at Town Hall, has been booking music at Gilson stage, as we all know. And so she's got a lot of bands that she knows now, a lot of good connections. So I asked her, I said, do you have anybody? And she's scheduled the band down here, La Choco. And then she's going to be doing that, knock on wood, all season, depending on whether the budget passes on Tuesday, because we've been told clearly by the mayor and the town manager, we're the first to get cut if there's a cut in the budget. I'm like, what? But anyway.
Well, I mean, I think that we've got more resources coming, so the actual tax base is expanded and the actual cost is going down. So
so they almost have to recalculate now, knowing that more money is coming in this year. Or not. I don't know.
Well, I think that
it's hard to.
I don't know. I think that we didn't change anything, so it's just like it was last year. So
the
should be
education,
fine.
you said $2 million.
Well, yeah, but that has been projected for years.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this has been going. The deal was made in 2017, so every year we got another $1 million.
Because sometimes it's hard to plan your budget when the state budget isn't done yet.
Correct.
And it's just like kind of scary.
Well, that's why they changed the charter.
Yeah.
And so back in the day, I don't know, a couple of years back, they changed the charter. So if the state budget looked unpredictable, then in that case, they would be able to wait and do the budget later in June. But that's not the case. The state budget it's just like it was. There have been some of the money that was used because of COVID that is going to the town and to the different towns all throughout the state. That all had to be committed so that it's not being wasted. And some of the things I think that we're going to be doing that I think is going to be great help, like buying equipment that we would have to spend money on otherwise, that would actually go to the cost of bonding. That can be done now, and so renovations in the schools, all these kinds of things are being addressed with the ARPA money, and so that's a lot of the changes that we made this time to have more stable funding for the future, so things in the future don't have to be purchased. So there's a lot of different things if you take a look at the budget, but it is, even though, get this, even though the budget is about the same, it still was about 300 some odd pages to get through for approps, and another 300 or so to get through for finance. So, so it is very, very good. It's stabilized, but it does explain why and how it's stabilized. And things that lapsed, that never were spent, have been moved into those different areas in those different agencies, so that they don't have shortfalls, and the places where they had more, they can move that. So that's the kind of changes that occurred. You always have to watch for every single thing, and so you got to get through all those pages.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'm going to leave the sign here, and I think Karen should put it at her house because she's on a busy road.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Karen.
In Wellington?
Yeah,
In Wellington?
sure. Like as you
Sure,
said, a lot people come from Wellington to Third Thursday all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All
UConn
right.
students come.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and I can always get one to you,
Oh,
Susan.
thank
I
you.
know where you live.
I'm
Do you
not
have
too
the
far
post,
from you.
The post things for them?
I have them. I'll leave them outside.
Okay.
so
Oh,
that-
wonderful. I have plenty of them.
I gotta say, there's a garage full. We all know this. All right,
That's
and
great.
I'll
Well,
let you
thank you
guys
so
go.
much, Jean Dismay, here to talk about Third Thursday. We're so
Thank
glad
you
that
for
you got
squeezing
this,
us in the
this
second
going.
time.
And I can't wait for Third Thursday on May 16th. And that's the third Thursday of the month of May. Hoo-hoo.
So I'll leave your sign out there too.
Okay, great.
And you won't have to open the door, I don't think.
If you ring the bell, I'll come and get it.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
All right.
great. All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
You're
Take care. See you Third Thursday.
See you soon.
All right, Karen Ravenel Bloom. All right, let's just talk about what the Pride Coalition, which is to prevent drug abuse in our school systems, and how the wonderful work that you've done in conjunction with the police department and the state and our local education people, and just the great programs that you have. So let's just start a little bit of general discussion on National Prevention Week, and describe your coalition.
Sure. So thanks again, Susan, for having us on. So, yeah, we do. So year round. So prevention, it doesn't just happen in 1 week of the year. It's with us. It's year round. And so our original name, the Wyndham Pride Coalition, which has stood for Partnership to Reduce the Influence of Drugs for Everyone. And as I mentioned earlier, we're sort of transitioning our name to Wyndham Prevention Coalition for just help clarify it for some folks that, to know what we're doing. And so one of the things when we got our initial funding for this programming is a requirement of these federal grants is that you need to have 12 sectors of different sector memberships of the community. And so we've really worked on that, and we are happy to report we have filled all of these sectors. So some of the sectors include our coalition makeup is with law enforcement, which we're very actively involved with, partnering with the Willimantic Police Department. Also, even Eastern Police Department has partnered with us on different things. We have local faith-based community folks involved, the schools, businesses. We have parents, youth, other youth-serving organizations, health organizations like Generations. So we have a real full house of our group of folks, and we also have some new folks that are working at our recreation department. So we have our meeting next week, and they'll be joining us, so we can introduce them and we can start partnering with them or reconnect and partnering with them. And so in doing that, what we do is a lot of times, so here's an example. We have recently been getting a lot of requests to do some vaping prevention education in the schools. So we are partnering very closely with the Willimantic, with the Wyndham Public Schools, and so at this time I've just started this whole series in the after-school programs, Wyndham Middle School, the STEM Academy. We did an outreach program at Wyndham High School a couple of weeks ago, and today we were at the ACT Performing Arts Magnet School, and that, I have to say, if I can just talk about that for a minute, just because it's like really fresh that we just did this. So, and again, this is kind of how our partnerships work. But so it was my colleague and myself, and this was what was really fabulous about this presentation, was it was initially the students, a whole. They have a group of students. They have a school climate, school climate and education.
Explain school climate, because I think that sometimes people might think it's about the climate outside, and you're talking about the climate inside.
Yeah, just sort of the attitudes, how we look after creating a positive environment in our school setting, and so apparently we were able to meet. The principal brought us in to meet with 10 of their students that are part of this committee, and we learned today too. Apparently, at the beginning of the year, what they do is they highlight something that's going really well in their school, something they just want to just sort of shout out about, which is fabulous with a performing arts school, right? But then they also like to, as a committee, work on something that they see as a challenge within their school. And something they identified really early on in the year is the issue of vaping, and vaping in the schools, vaping in the bathrooms. And so they wanted to take it by the reins and create something. So they reached out to us. Their principal called us and said that they are working on this as a project. Could we come in and assist them with this? And so so today when we went, we had so we basically kind of set it up like a panel, and we had all of these students up on the stage with us. And then I have a former youth, a young man who is now 22. But Susan, he went through the 2017 Youth Leadership Academy.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, and so that had a huge impact on him. He made such positive connections with our law enforcement officers, and then he joined our youth council, and he became more involved throughout the school year.
And please explain the youth council.
Yeah, so our youth council is made up of, it has been traditionally high school students, but now we've opened it up to like older middle school age students, and we meet a couple times a month. And on Thursday evenings, and in fact, we're going to be, so with the third Thursdays coming up, that's going to be our projects. Whenever we have a third Thursday, we're down at third Thursday running our booth.
Great.
But they come up with different projects. They've done, they've just recently recorded a number of PSAs right here at the radio station, and the most recent ones they wrote themselves. So right now I have them out helping me with some of the after-school projects as well.
I have a question about the vaping, because it seems to me back in the day when I was growing up, well, if your parents smoked, you probably smoked cigarettes too. And then we made this transition to vape to help people get off cigarettes and move on and get rid of that, but still have a chance for nicotine, but not all the smoke and the harm that goes with a regular cigarette. And then I started saying something about that, and people said, well, no, now vaping is inspired with a peer group instead of through the parents.
Well, so one of the things about vapes, and if you go into any kind of store, you could go to your local gas station, corner store, and then you see it, and there's vape specialty shops. So many of these things, if you look at how they're packaged, if you look at now all the flavors, there are well over a few thousand different flavors that are out there. So what has the big tobacco company, the path they've taken is they caught on that, this is something new out there. And so they really started marketing to young people with banana, watermelon, bubblegum flavors, and the packaging, even the bright colors, all these things that are going to attract young people. And with some of the education we're doing right now and some of the curriculum we're working with is we also have seen that even since 2017, what the vaping companies have done is every year they've increased the amount of nicotine that they put into the vape pods or the jewels or the pens. And so, of course, what happens then, the more nicotine that's in it, the more people are going to get addicted to it.
Well, that's just what they did with the cigarettes too.
Exactly.
I mean, back in the day, they said, "Oh, well, we'll put a lot more nicotine in," and then when people now they know that they have the warning signal on the cigarette package that it can cause cancer and could be bad for your health. So they had that, and then what did they do? They added more nicotine to the actual cigarettes than what was actually in the tobacco, and made it high concentrated, and then people had a harder time giving up the cigarettes. So they did that back in the day. I mean, I gave them up in 1980. But nicotine's quite a sneaky drug. It really is. It's once you get addicted to it, it's hard to get rid of. At least it was for me, and I think that may be so with these vaping things. But again, I just wonder, you're not seeing it in your family as much anymore, but you do see it. So if you're seeing it, like, what do? They see it in the store and they try it, or do they have their buddies that tried it? And I just don't get where they're getting it from, because they're not advertising it on TV. That was the other thing that happened. They took the TV ads for cigarettes off the air, so they got rid of those as well. That's how addictive cigarettes were.
Yeah, and now there's a lot of social media, and and then youth. I mean, they do see their parents using it, and so
parents are vaping.
Yeah, so parents.
Good to know.
Yeah, parents are as
Okay.
well, and so I know in the poll that was done, the students that did this from this group today at the magnet school, they did their own little survey within their school as well, and just were finding that. Students who do vape and so forth, that they're getting it from other friends, like older peers, maybe, older relatives or cousins or whatever, are purchasing it for them. So they are getting access to it, and it is, it's one of those other forms of a drug, if you will, that
It is a drug. Absolutely.
that is, they call it 21 for a reason. So just like, alcohol, it's, in that classification, cigarettes, alcohol, cannabis, adult, we like to call it adult use cannabis, that's all in that, it's 21 for a reason.
Right.
So just kind of swinging back to a little bit of what I was talking about this earlier is that, so this young person who was on our youth council, he is now he's an incredible musician, writer, and he's also an athlete and a great performance artist as well. So, and just really so much believes in all of this prevention, everything, drugs, alcohol, vaping. And so we brought him on board, and he was both at the high school a couple weeks ago and at the ACT Academy this morning, and it was just really nice to have from his perspective his reasons, why he chooses not to use, and talking about, I've been on sports teams, and I look at other athletes that are the ones that are vaping, and he says, some of them, it's like they're really good athletes, but you can start seeing them lose their edge. Like, okay, maybe they would have been an upper division level of soccer, but they're not quite getting that there because so many of them, they're getting winded out on the fields and so forth. So to have him today be able to, from the voice of somebody who's 22, that these other younger high school students could really connect with, I think, on a different level than somebody like me who's, a little bit older than they are. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, things do change, and that's very interesting that the Pride Coalition, or the Prevention Coalition now, Wyndham National Prevention Coalition, Local
Yeah.
Prevention Coalition, is actually working on that, which is a very important thing to make everybody understand what a drug is and what it can do, and the impact on the body, and the fact that certainly with vaping, it was really set up there to stop people from smoking, not to add people to that population. Anyway, as we move forward, we're going to have to hear from our sponsors first. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with Karen Ravenel Bloom. And we're going to talk about some of the great things that the Pride Coalition has been doing and their transition to their new name. And we will be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with our very special guest this evening, Karen Ravenel Bloom, and she's been doing amazing work with the town of Windham and the students here and the police and Eastern Connecticut State University, really working hard on all the issues that the students really are benefiting from if they're able to get into this Summer Youth Leadership Academy. And something that I've been part of for years, ever since it was started. I first was asked to come and present based on the fact that I was a lawyer. Then another time, after a while, I was asked to come and present based on the fact I was a state rep. And then we were able to actually work with the Leadership Academy to help with some scholarship grants back in the day. So I'm really thrilled that they do this work, and I'm really, really thrilled that the town is supporting it and the state to some degree is supporting it as well. So welcome back to our chatter about this. Tell us some more about this, about our Summer Youth Leadership Academy.
So Susan, I think just like you, this is one of the programs that's near and dear to my heart. It was when I first started in this position, it was one of the things at our very first coalition meeting. After I tell this story, after the coalition meeting, two of the police officers said, "Hey, Karen, do you have a few extra minutes? We want to tell you about this summer leadership academy that we started last year." I go, "Yes." Well, it was like an hour and 20 minutes later. They were so excited about it because they developed it from the ground up. It was kind of based on their the Citizens Academy that they run for adults, and so they decided there was a little extra funding in the grant, and there was a transition with before another prevention coordinator had been out on medical leave, and so they had this gap of time where they wanted to get something going in the summer for youth. So they developed this amazing curriculum for it. So it's so what it is, it's basically a week-long, it's 2 sessions. So it's a week-long program. The first session, and I'll give you the dates here. The first session is, for this year, it's July 8th through the 12th, and it's for students entering grades 9 to 12. And most of the students are from Windham, Willimantic. Occasionally we have a few others that maybe their parents work in town or whatever, they hear about it. And so we have this really amazing mix of students that often come from different schools. They could be going to the technical high school or Windham High or the ACT Academy or, other surrounding schools, E.O. Smith, but then they live in town but they go to E.O. Smith. So you bring all these young people together for a week, and the police, on the first week they have 4 police officers, and they do a lot of team building the very first day. And the second day, I see Susan here smiling, because the second day is when we bring them up to the state capitol, and that is also one of my favorite parts of the week too, because we charter a bus, and we have probably like 35, 36, 38 students, and we drive up to the state capitol for the morning. And do you want to explain a little bit of what we do while we're there?
I'm so happy that they come to the state capitol, because it gives the students a chance, and many times students haven't had a chance to get to the capitol. So it's the first time that they're there, or even if they've been there, they haven't really had a chance maybe to see the representative and the state senator. So we're both there talking to the students. They come in, we do a little introductory remarks, then we go. I go up to the hall of the House. Senator Flexer goes up to the Senate, room, and then we talk some more about what we do and how we do it, and we get a chance to have them ask questions and answer the questions about what we do and how it all works. And it's a great time and wonderful to have the students there. And and sometimes we're able to get across the street to the state Supreme Court, and then there's a little museum there where the state library is, and they get some more history about some of the different laws, how we got the state capitol, all this history about what's going on in Hartford and how it all developed over the years. So it's a great time, and it's a great opportunity to educate the students, and I'm always thrilled to be part of the discussion.
And I think one of the things too that we like to pick up on is about them, even like at the age they are of having their voices heard. I loved last summer when we met in the Senate chamber as well with Senator Flexer, and she was talking about her early experiences in high school and just some things that happened in the school that made her feel like she wanted to fight for some social justice issues a little bit more strongly. And so over time, she just kind of kept at it, and look where she is now.
Exactly.
So I think, that's a lot of what we do in our programming is really to help to coach students on public speaking and also social justice, what's important to you, and how you can make your voices heard wherever it may be, or standing up for other students, or standing up for a certain, certain topic or theme that you think is important to you.
It's wonderful to see the questions, because the students are thinking about these issues that have an impact on their communities, their parents, themselves, how their schools operate. These are the kinds of things that they can find out when they come to the Capitol and see what we're working on, and find out how to utilize the computer to check the bills that have passed this last session. So it's really a great thing. Really. I always love to see them, and I love to be there for them.
And I think they're so awestruck because most students haven't had a chance to visit the Capitol yet, and it's just the most amazing building, and it's just it's just really nice to be in the halls and to meet others up there. And last year, we also had a visit from Governor Lamont while we were up there as well. He stopped out and spoke with us for a bit, so that was really nice.
That is really nice, and to think of the history there and how everything works is just so amazing. It's just a great place, and I'm really happy that you do that.
So after we leave the Capitol, we typically go and do something fun. We'll go bowling or something like that, eat pizza, go bowling, just kind of let them, get to know each other a little bit, because it's only on day 2 of their time with us. And then, on the third day, we have a whole morning. The police work very hard at reaching out to different members of the community to do a career day. So we have people come in for like 15-minute time slots and to speak about all kinds of careers. We've had an emergency nurse come in from Wyndham Hospital. We've had people from local businesses, people from the colleges. We've had who else have we had? We've had the fire department come in and speak. So school social workers, just a variety to give them just like an idea of like, oh, I never would have thought of this as a career. So that's another really positive day. And so that's for the students. It's a lot of listening and inquiring, and then in the afternoon, the police will set up a site where we go out and do some kind of community service project, and it's usually hot and sticky, but let me tell you, those youth, one year we were out at the Memorial Park, and also the Public Works Department brought all these shovels and hose and wheelbarrows, and they were weeding, and we brought big coolers of water, and they just worked so hard alongside the police officers, some volunteers, and it's just a real community effort, and I think could stand back and take pride in their work. We're doing this for our town. And then Thursday, so this is again the high school, the police take them down to the National Guard Academy, and they spend a day. They have obstacle courses there, so it's a lot more team building and so forth. And on the last day, they kind of spend the morning we give them these trifolds, and they do the old-fashioned, we break them into 4 teams, or the teams they've been working with throughout the week, and they kind of put together a synopsis of what they were learning through the week and so forth. And then then they have to, at the end of the day, do a little presentation. So they do public speaking, and we bring in members of our coalition, we've had a couple of town council members come in, former youth leadership graduates. So we have this whole team of people who they're presenting to, and then they don't find out that night we have a big graduation ceremony and dinner. Parents, we fill the community center Wyndham Room with everybody for nice celebration, and then they find out who won that project. But for them, again, it's a chance to learn public speaking skills and really kind of assimilate what they learned over the course of the week. And I do have to say that usually by that night, it's like so many of them are saying, oh man, I wish we could be doing this like more weeks than just this. You know, they've met new friends and developed these nice relationships with the officers, and so it's great. And then what we do is from that we select 8 of the strongest leaders, and we have them do additional training with us. So they come back like a week and a half later, do several more days with us, and then those youth come back and they work with the junior academy, so they become the peer leaders for the students entering grades 7 and 8. And so it's really nice to see those leadership skills shine. And we do similar themes, a little different, and then also have a graduation ceremony. And Susan's always there to support us with everything. She's our biggest cheerleader.
I love you guys. I think it
She
is,
really
I
is.
love what you do.
Yes.
And it's just amazing because I really feel that it's a way for to develop community, as a way to connect these students with what's going on and how their community works. And it's a way for them to understand, hey, these are opportunities for jobs for me when I finish school. And so those are the kinds of things that people need to understand, and this is doing just that. So I'm always very excited about what you do, and I want to also raise another issue, that how this group and how your work goes into other community organizations like Grow Wyndham.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so Grow Wyndham is right down the street from us. They're 872 Main Street, and they're another fabulous program that does incredible youth work, and they do so they have a whole team of I believe it's mostly high school students. They do a lot of work out in the community with gardening, things on food security. They make their own hot sauce and things like that they've grown in their gardens. They have a garden down at Lauder Park that is students, children from the summer camps. They can go and get their hands right in the soil too, and do a little bit there. But they've also gotten some other grant funding and doing a lot of wanting to bring in youth voices, really, so that what we're trying to do as all these kind of youth service organizations is really provide a platform for young people to share with us, with the adults in the community, of what they see that are challenges in their community. How can we work together? What are some social justice kinds of things that we'd like to work on? And so really sort of put it back on them and let them help guide us as to directions that we can work together. So they're just really great. I call them movers and shakers, in the community. They're great to work with. Mm-hmm. And then there's another organization we've partnered with, and they as well as along with Grow Wyndham are members of our coalition, and their name is Project Emo, and they have a teen center that is literally right on the other side, like literally a few doors down from the radio station here, and they are a youth adventure-based program, but they do a lot. They're doing a lot more with career building, career pathways, just just a tremendous amount of youth and community engagement. And so they, in their little space they have here, they call it base camp, which is the youth just feel so comfortable there. It just has, the big beanbag chairs, and it's got, some backpacks hanging up on the walls and things like that, a lot of games. And so we've been holding our youth council meetings there, but there are a lot of events that we've done and brought Project Emo in to partner with us, because they do a lot of really superb leadership training as well. So, I'll sort of put this out as I'm talking about our Summer Leadership Academy. They're also doing some ooh, that's a mouthful. Summer leadership skill building as well. So, so maybe somebody, some youth can't make it the weeks that we're running ours, so maybe they could get involved with Project Emo. But for us, we're just happy wherever they land, and we have some of our youth who are working with us, and then some other days. Right now, they do stuff at the Teen Center with Project Emo. One of our peer advocate is she is a member of Grow Wyndham, so we just kind of all wherever we can support each other, that's what we do.
Of course, and one of the other things that you do that I think that is a primary focus of the Pride, which is transitioning to Wyndham Prevention Coordination, is the idea that you're training the students about drug abuse or drug misuse, and the fact that it could have an addiction component, and how to identify those kinds of things, which is really a very, very thoughtful way to make sure people try and understand what's going on with alcohol addiction or drug addiction.
Yeah, so I think, like, for example, today in the approach that we were talking with students is we were also talking with, like, vaping of how something like that, where that when it starts affecting your brain, and I think this is something we're trying to educate young people about as well, is just young people's brains are still in the developmental stage, and they're still developing until you're age 25. So this, anything that, whether it's nicotine or alcohol or, cannabis, marijuana, it will all affect those brain receptors. And as my colleague today, Mary, was saying too, of like, okay, so once you start maybe trying one, then, then maybe I'll try this to see what this feels like. And so how easy it can be for one thing to lead into another. And we also try and educate them as well, as if there is, any kind of history in their family of substance use disorder, that they're a little more susceptible.
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever you have exposure to these things, they can make you more susceptible. And that's the kind of education program that really should be done everywhere, but you're doing it right here and with the students that apply and get into this program. And we're running down to our last few seconds, so just tell people how they can get in touch with you to sign up for the Summer Youth Academy.
Sure. So for the Summer Youth Leadership Academy, that is actually directly through the police department. So it's just it is just the willimanticpolice.org, and they can and they can find the applications there, or if they want to come to, they can go through our office as well. And so we are still at wyndhampride.org, and we have a whole lot of resources on our website. So for various things, some for parents, youth, activities are going on. So
this is
check
a
us out.
great opportunity. I can't thank you enough, Karen Ravenel Bloom, for being here today and talking about the great community things that we have for our students here in Wyndham and for the region, because I know you reach out to people all over the region, and that's also educational to hear from people from different parts of the state. So I thank you so much for your work, and thank you for being with us today. This is Susan Johnson, and we had our fabulous guest, Karen Ravenel Bloom. Don't forget about Third Thursday coming up. Thank you, Jean Dismay, and we will be back next week with a brand new show.